Hey guys, today's video is Chapter 7, Lesson 8, Simplify Expressions. Our TEKS is 6.7d. I can explain the following in my own words. Term, coefficient, constant, and like terms. Okay, so first thing we're going to be doing is simplifying expressions with one variable. And remember, a variable is a symbol that's usually a letter used to represent a number. So here they're explaining that to simplify an algebraic expression, we can use properties to generate an equivalent expression that has no like terms and no parentheses. So we did properties today in class. We reviewed commutative, associative, inverse, identity, and distributive. So we're going to be using those properties to help us simplify. Okay, so they gave us an example. So we have 3 plus 3. So you're repeating adding the number 3, and we know multiplication is the same thing as repeated addition. I have two groups of 3, so that's the same as 2 times 3, which we know is equivalent to 6. In terms of variables, x plus x, well, we're adding x 2 times, or we have two groups of x, so that's the same as 2 times x. All right, so number 1, we're going to simplify the expression negative 4 times 6x. Okay, and we know that the parentheses means multiplication, and we also know that when the variable is right next to the number, that's also multiplication. Okay, so how can we break that down? So we have negative 4. I'm just going to rewrite it first. Negative 4 times 6. If you guys have some different colors that you would like to use, I'm going to be using different colors for different parts of our expression. Okay, so I'm going to use blue to represent my numbers, and I'm going to use the same color for my variables. Okay, so my x's are going to be pink. All right, so this is the same thing as saying negative 4 times 6 times x. Okay, all I did was break it down what our expression is, including what's inside our parentheses. Okay, now can we regroup our numbers using the associative property so that we have like terms? Meaning I have integers here, and then I have one variable. So I can regroup them in my parentheses so that way I have my integers together and then my variable. Okay? So now we can simplify by solving. So first we're going to use our number bond to solve what's inside our parentheses. I have 4 times 6, which is 24, but it's a negative times a positive, so I know my answer has to be negative, times the variable x. And our solution, negative 24 times x, we know we can write that algebraically with our variable right next to it. Okay, so we just simplified our expression. All right, number 2, we have a word problem. Okay, so number 2, it says 3 friends will pay X dollars each for admission to the museum plus $1 each to view the mummy exhibit. A 4th friend will pay admission but will not view the mummy exhibit. Write and simplify an expression that represents the total cost. Okay, well, first, how can we represent admission? What did they tell us? Well, they said admission is X dollars each. Okay, so that means I'm going to pay X dollars plus $1. Okay, so that's representing just the cost of admission. Well, how many friends do we have paying the cost of admission plus $1? Well, they told us we have 3. So that means we're going to be paying this 3 times. So to represent that, we can do 3 times our cost of admission, which is X plus $1. But then we also have a friend that's only going to pay for admission, but not the exhibit. So they're only paying X. And we need to include that 4th friend. So we need to add X for our 4th friend. Okay, well, how can we simplify this expression? Well, first, we're going to move First, we're going to simplify the first part of our expression by using the distributive property, okay? Because here I'm multiplying the sum of two numbers. So that means I need to distribute my 3 to my x and my 3 to my 1, just like that. Okay, remember the parentheses means multiplication, so 3 times x means 3x plus 3 times 1 gives us 3. Okay, and then what we have left over is plus x. Okay, now we're going to use the commutative property to move our like terms to where they're in order. So for example, I have 3x plus, I have another x, so it's supposed to be pink, and then plus 3. Okay, these are like terms because they're the same letter, okay, and this is the only number we have by itself. Okay. Well, now we're going to combine our like terms. Okay, this is like having an imaginary 1 in it, so this is the same thing as saying 3x plus 1x. Well, I know 3 plus 1 gives me 4 with the variable x plus 3 left over, okay? So all we did was combine our like terms, and that's our simplified expression. All right, flip it over. So now we're going to simplify expressions with two variables, okay? Meaning I have different letters, okay? And we're going to use properties as well. So for the first one, we have 14y plus x plus 22y. Okay. First, we're going to use the commutative property to move our like terms closer to each other, just like we did before. Okay. So what do we have more than one of? Well, here I have the variable y and the variable y. So we're going to move these terms to where they're in order. Okay, so I have 14y plus 22y plus x. We only have one x. Okay, well, we can also use the associative property to regroup those. So we already moved them, so they're together. Now I'm going to group together my like terms. Okay, so I have two terms with the variable y, so we're going to group those together. Okay, and now all we're going to do is we're going to combine our like terms. I have 14y plus 22y. They have the same variable, so that means we can add them together. So we're going to add our numbers, 14 plus 22. We get 36. So that means that we have 36y plus 1x, or just x. Okay, do we have any other like terms we can combine? Nope, this is a y, this is an x, different letters, so we cannot put them together. We can't add them. That is our simplified expression. Okay, and then the last one, our distributive property. Okay, we're going to simplify 4 times 2x plus y. Okay, remember distributive property, we're multiplying the sum of two numbers, okay, or two terms here. So we're going to distribute our 4 to the 2x and distribute our 4 to the y. Okay, how could I rewrite that showing that I'm multiplying those together? Well, this could be 4 times 2x plus, you distribute the 4 to the y. 4 times y gives us 4y. Okay, have we simplified all the way? No, we're still showing multiplication here. So I still have to multiply. 4 times 2 gives me 8x plus, what's left over? 4y. Okay, do we have any other like terms that we can combine? Meaning, do I see any other letters that are the same? Nope, I have an x here and a y here. They're not like terms, so that is our simplified expression. All right, make sure that you bring this template with you to class. glue it in your notes journal, and I'll see you in the morning. Have a great night.